个孩子证明不是他的啦。
我没跟别人怀孕啊，我结了婚就一直都跟着他。
他这个结果是错误的，那要不要再重新做一次呢？
我觉得没这个必要了。他如果就是说认为不是他的，那就不是他的。
The daughter he had raised for 4 years turned out not to be his biological child. The 40-year-old delivery man broke down in tears. Yet, when faced with the black and white DNA test, his wife became unusually agitated and emotionally explosive.
做你这个事情，我真的是我气得刀子记心了，你知道吧？
你记心，你什么？
我真的是佩服你这种人，我是狗也下了眼。
It turned out that whenever the couple argued, the wife would always use the child's origin to provoke him. As time went on, even the most mild-tempered person couldn't take it anymore. So the man decided to quietly do a paternity test, and the result shocked him. He originally thought it was just his wife speaking out of anger, but with the DNA results in front of him, he had no choice but to accept the cruel truth. Left with no other option, he went to his wife to ask for the truth.
这个孩子证明不是他的啦。
我没跟别人怀孕啊，我结了婚就一直都跟着他。
他这个结果是错误的，那要不要再重新做一次呢？
我觉得没这个必要了。他如果就是说认为不是他的，那就不是他的。
The wife, who was busy in the kitchen, seemed completely unconcerned. She firmly insisted that there was nothing wrong with the child and accused her husband of setting her up. She believed he had fabricated the whole thing just to divorce her and avoid taking responsibility for raising the child. The wife also complained that when they got married, the man had nothing to his name. The down payment for their home was paid by her family. It wasn't until the last couple of years that the man started delivering food, and his meager income wasn't enough to support the household. She often had to use her dowry money to cover expenses. Despite all these silent efforts, she didn't gain his understanding. Instead, she was being accused. Faced with such accusations, the wife burst into tears, but still didn't get her husband's sympathy. Instead, the man presented a detailed account of their financial records since they got married, proving his contributions to the family, which contradicted everything his wife had claimed. In fact, both of them had been previously married. Not long after their wedding, they had a daughter. For this middle-aged father, it was undoubtedly a huge blessing, because his ex-wife had divorced him due to infertility. He had always dreamed of becoming a father. The birth of his daughter not only fulfilled that dream, but also gave him the motivation to work harder. He chose to deliver food, working more than 10 hours a day, just to ensure that his daughter could grow up healthy and happy. However, those beautiful days didn't last long.
就和了，跟他在一起生活了几个月，后来回来呢，
你有什么证据？
我就是年一年在那里生活了几个月，然后回来呢就跟我离婚。闹离婚的话，还跟小孩子讲呢，跟那个男的说生的这个小孩，生的小孩子女儿呢，叫那个男的叫假。
It turned out that one time, when his wife took their daughter out, he accidentally discovered that the daughter called a strange man dad. This shocked him, because every time the couple had an argument, the wife would take the daughter to Hunan to relax. Out of concern, he secretly followed them and recorded some videos as evidence. Now, with both video footage and the paternity test results in hand, he was desperate for a fair explanation. However, the wife's response was calm denial, claiming that it was just a rare case of genetic mutation.
我也不会想到真正的事情发生。
那当时吵架你只是说的气话，说孩子跟你没关系。
对呀，因为我跟你讲，我心里就是100%的是他的咯。
She believed all of her husband's evidence was fabricated. If he didn't want this child, he should just say so directly, instead of using such despicable means to frame her. Even when facing undeniable proof, the wife refused to admit her mistakes. Instead, she claimed that this approach had damaged the relationship between mother and child. While the two were in a heated argument, the wife's elder sister suddenly appeared and firmly defended her, insisting that her sister was honest and kind, and couldn't possibly do anything immoral. But when confronted with hard evidence, even she was left speechless. Later, a mediator encouraged both sides to sit down and resolve the issue calmly. But just as the discussion began, the wife suddenly became extremely emotional.
我是说能和解就和解，你说放上法庭，你拿着那么多钱去打官司，你说有？
She made it clear that she wasn't asking for her husband's forgiveness. She just didn't want the matter to be made public, which would only bring unnecessary embarrassment. She believed that even if they were to separate, it should be done amicably to avoid becoming a joke in the eyes of others, especially to prevent their daughter from being hurt. In light of this, the husband, in order to protect the daughter who shared no blood relation with him, put forward strict conditions, agreeing to divorce, but demanding 120,000 yuan in compensation from his wife, along with half of the house.
精神损失费，我要6万块钱，我也起诉，我也写了。然后那个抚养费的话，也是6万块钱，2个孩子。
你就是加起来你需要12万的赔偿。
对，然后还有我的那个做的那个亲子经历，还有生活费。
The wife was very troubled by the man's harsh demands. The house had been purchased by her family before the marriage, and her husband had never handed over any of his income. Now, because of one mistake, she was expected to give up half of the house. To her, this was completely unacceptable. When the mediator questioned the husband, he became a bit tongue-tied. It turned out that over the past 4 years of marriage, the man had only started saving money during the last 2 years while delivering food. Before that, his business ventures had been losing money, and nearly all household expenses were covered by the wife. Eventually, under the mediator's guidance, the two agreed to go to the village committee for further mediation the next day. But the next day, the wife didn't show up. Left with no other choice, the husband called her.
我们在家里调解了，他调解都调解不了，你说，在你这里又能调解了吗？
那说明我能调解了哎，你来了，你不来人，这个我就搞不成了。
我单枪匹马的，我真的是不敢来。
单枪匹马他又不。
怕他给我下套。
It turned out that the wife, afraid her husband would trick her, refused to attend the mediation. This surprised everyone present. Even though she was the one in the wrong, she kept insisting that she was the real victim. In the end, both sides had no choice but to take the matter to court. As the man once again put on his delivery uniform and prepared to work, he couldn't stop thinking about his daughter. Looking at old photos, he couldn't hold back his tears. Although he had no blood relation with the girl, after raising her for 4 years, he simply couldn't bear to let go. He had no choice but to seek a fair resolution through legal means. In the end, 3 months later, the court issued its ruling. It confirmed that the girl was not biologically related to the man, and ruled that he had no further obligation to support her, nor was he required to pay child support. Whether he would continue to act as a father would be up to him. Regarding the property dispute, the court determined that the house was the wife's personal property acquired before marriage, and therefore not part of the marital assets. The man had no right to claim a share. However, considering that the man had fulfilled parental responsibilities for nearly 4 years during their marriage and had covered most of the living expenses, the court ruled that the wife must pay him 60,000 yuan in emotional damages and 40,000 yuan in compensation for child-rearing expenses, as well as cover the cost of the paternity test and all related legal fees. Although the court ultimately concluded that the child was not biologically his, and clearly stated that he had no obligation to continue supporting her, the man did not choose to walk away. There was no argument, no appeal. He simply told the mediator calmly that he was willing to continue raising the girl. In his heart, the child had already become a part of his life. 4 years of companionship and dedication couldn't be erased by a few test results. He knew that even if she wasn't his by blood, she had already become his daughter in every way that mattered. Even though the marriage couldn't go on, he still chose to stay and shoulder the responsibilities of a father. Perhaps not everyone would understand his decision, but for him, it wasn't a sacrifice. It was a bond he couldn't let go of.
A single paternity test tore away the veil of marriage and revealed a man's 4 years of hidden pain. He had given this child his time, his money, even all of his love, only to discover that he was nothing more than a temporary father being used. Faced with betrayal, he could have chosen to leave, but he didn't. Even knowing the child wasn't biologically his, he still decided to stay and continue fulfilling his role as a father. As for his wife, she spent the entire time denying, making excuses, and shifting blame. Not a single apology, not even the slightest trace of remorse. Even when confronted with ironclad evidence, she still tried to downplay the mistake as if nothing had happened. In this story, the most pitiful is the child. The most heart-wrenching is the man. And the most infuriating is perhaps the mother who continues to walk the edge of morality. What do you think? Is a man who continues to raise a child he knows isn't as foolish or noble? In this woman's actions, do you see her as pitiful or despicable? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear different voices and perspectives. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode.